chokes. These.
Oysters.
What?
Top thing.
They're oyster what?
Anybody tall enough to reach that
Get the
other way towards me? Towards me. Good. Thank you.
yeah, I can see pretty well now.
So we'll get our hats on, so we're ready to go. We're going to start with mushrooms this afternoon. We're going to cook mushrooms, play around with them a little bit. We got plenty of time to do these. We're also going to cook broccoli. And broccoli is a lot like broccoli, but it's not broccoli. So it's kind of a hybrid. This is what broccoli looks like. And often you'll see a big portion of the stem cooked with the broccoli. So I'm only going to take a little bit off. I'm going to pull any leaves because they'll be bitter. And you par cook this, and then you saute it to order. You par cook it, shock it in an ice water bath, and that's what I want you to do. Boiling salt water for 20 seconds. You got that? 20 seconds, boiling salt water. And then you're going to pull it out, drop it in an ice water bath, and then you're going to saute it with butter, salt, and pepper. Okay? And that's broccoli, and that's traditionally how it's done. It's shocked, it's par cooked, and it's shocked and then sauteed. But you see how much of the stem we actually use with the broccoli?
Yes.
So it's just a little bit different than the broccoli itself. And the pods are a little bit larger also. Same really flavor profile as the broccoli. Probably a little more bitter than the broccoli though. Okay. This is a shiitake mushroom. Shiitakes are traditionally Chinese mushrooms, and most of the time you will find these dried in the Chinese stores. So, one thing about the shiitake is I don't use the stems. I want everyone to pass these stems around so you can feel how woody they are. They will not break down in the cooking process, but you feel that stem and feel how woody it is. That doesn't chew well. So very important to always take off the stem when doing shiitake mushrooms. And then you're just going to slice them up like regular mushrooms.
Kind of like some sliced chicken.
Huh?
I said it kind of like some sliced chicken.
The shiitakes are very nutty in flavor. And that's their flavor profile. They take in other ingredients very well. If I put any liquid in the pan with this, it's going to taste like whatever the liquid is. But it has such a unique flavor and a nutty flavor, I just want you to do butter, salt, and pepper. Okay?
Yeah, chef.
So butter, salt, and pepper. And the trick with mushrooms is I'm going to need more butter than I would to saute mushrooms because they are so porous than I would to, say, sauteed zucchini or yellow squash or anything of that nature. So I'm just going to toss these in there. The trick with mushrooms is don't overcook them. And so often we either undercook them or overcook them. We don't want to overcook them, so I would rather lean on the side of undercooking them than overcooking them because they become very tough and chewy when they're overcooked. Alright, while those are cooking, this is what we refer to as a cremini mushroom. And a cremini, is a baby portabello mushroom. So this is what the portabello looks in the early stages, and it's called a cremini mushroom. And then when it's more mature, it becomes the portabello. The portabello is a very meaty mushroom and it's substituted on sandwiches instead of meats for vegetarians. So a lot of times you'll see cheeseburgers, and then if a vegetarian comes in, you'll make a cheeseburger out of portabello mushroom instead of meat.
Do they grind it up or they just use the whole?
I'm going to show you how to process it here in a second. See how all that butter is sucked up into the mushroom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gone. There was a lot of butter in here. That's the wonderful thing about mushrooms. They do absorb a lot of the liquid, whether it's fat or whether it's stock itself. They absorb a lot of the liquid itself. sesame oil, hold the flavor of the sesame oil, or the teriyaki or the soy, whatever you put in there with them. It does it very, very well. I'm going to take those out. Pass those around when they cool down so you can taste them. Basically, don't pass them around yet. They're really hot. All right. The next one we're going to do is called oyster mushroom. This is an oyster mushroom. These things taste like oysters when they're cooked. And they're almost slimy like a raw oyster. And that's why they're called oyster mushrooms. I'm not going to use the back half of the stem itself. So traditionally, I would just come along, cut the oysters loose from the stem itself. I'm not going to use that back half of it. Oyster mushrooms, again, they're called oyster mushrooms because they taste like the oyster. They taste like raw oysters.
Whenever they're dry, do they taste like mushrooms? Whenever they're just raw like that, do they just taste like mushrooms?
Well, I've never really eaten any raw, but they are going to taste like mushrooms because I mean mushroom flavored oysters. So,
It's a pretty good substitute if you want some seafood. If you're vegetarian.
These are usually used in sauces a lot. The mushrooms, oyster mushroom sauce is one of the most popular sauces. It's deglazed with a little bit of white wine, and then demi-glace is added to it. It makes an incredible sauce for pork, or veal, or lamb, or beef items. Even chicken would go really nice with oyster mushroom.
Are we not putting any black pepper on that, just salt?
I'm going to put a little black pepper in there, yes. Black pepper there.
There you go.
And then with the wine has a great effect on mushrooms. Anyone ever saute mushrooms or get black mushrooms when they come out to you? Wine will prevent those mushrooms from turning black. So if I just did a little white wine, the mushrooms won't turn black on me if I hold it hot.
Is it gonna taste winey now too?
Yeah, this is going to have a little wine to it. No alcohol, because when alcohol gets to 110 degrees,
It evaporates.
and all you have is the flavor. You see how rich that mushroom is? It's almost forming a sauce. See that? It's almost forming a sauce with that.
But seafood and wine usually taste pretty good together either way.
Alright. Just let those cool off a little bit. Alright, the next one I'm going to show you is the cremini. And the cremini is just traditionally sliced up and sauteed. We're going to do several things with it. We're going to saute it, of course. I have somebody's knife up here on my table. I don't know whose that is. Whose is it?
Oh.
Good. We're just going to slice it.
I'm sorry, what are those called again?
Creminis. Creminis.
Creminis.
Little mushroom. The oysters? All right, so. A little bit of salt and pepper. And with the creminis, guys, I'm going to hit those with a little red wine. The mushroom is great to put with red wine because it takes in that pink color, that purple color from the wine. Does that make sense?
Yes, sure.
So it's
Oh, wow, that was really hot.
visual.
Yeah. Yeah, the visual's going to have a lot to do with it. You got to be careful with cremini mushrooms. Everybody listen, because they will suck the moisture out of the pan. It's burn really, really easy. You see how much butter I put in the first time? The mushrooms aren't even done. I had to add more butter because it really sucks up the liquid out of the pan.
A lot better than just the brown mushrooms.
Well, they'll be kind of oily, so you don't want too much in there. But at the same time, you want enough to be able to cook the mushrooms themselves.
So when they start to get kind of brown, then you know they're ready for the wine.
See, that's really,
Is that overcooked?
no, it's not really brown. You're just seeing a little bit of caramelization on them. Cremini's the only red one.
Is that like traditionally they get that red wine?
No, they can do white or red, but I wanted to show you one mushroom with red and one with white mushroom. The thing about the red wine is it really colors the mushrooms up really nice.
Yeah. The red wine always smells strong.
I like the red wine probably because I like red wine better, but that's probably why I like the red wine with the mushrooms better also. You will see that. Now, we're going to do what we call fluted mushrooms with
They're really
these
hot.
also. These are nice garnishes on your food. You can get garnish on your chicken, your steak, anything of that nature. Traditionally, it's used on a filet mignon. Remember I told you a filet mignon is a filet of beef? Wrapped in bacon. It's traditionally served with hollandaise sauce and a mushroom cap on top. And you go to a really nice place and it'll be a fluted mushroom cap. So the first thing I want to do is remove the skin if I'm going to flute it. So I pop the bottom off, or the stem off, and then I just peel the skin right off of it.
Peels off so easy.
And then key with fluting, tornade knife is the best knife to use when fluting. But what I do, I will just take a knife and just go into it a little bit like so. And then I will take my knife and go around it and try to do an even slice all the way around. See what I'm putting in there? And I'm going to cook that to show you what it looks like when it's cooked. So I'm going to start, depending on how many flutes I want on it, I'm going to start by doing 3 equal flutes halfway around, and then I can add as many flutes as I want. See what I'm doing? And then I'm going to go in and I'll add another one here.
To the diagonal?
See that steel on my knife is getting a little dull. I just keep doing that all the way around. Took a little too much off of that one, but it'll be alright. So I'm going to take a little butter. I'm actually going to cook this with a little salt, pepper. I like to add parsley and garlic to it. Alright, so I'm going to start cooking that a little bit. And you would serve this on top of a filet or on top of a chicken, basically as a garnish or an addition to what you're doing. Does that make sense?
Yes, chef.
Some of you will be better at fluting than others. Others will cut the mushroom in half. It just takes a little practice. But once you get it down, it's like riding a bike. You never forget how. Alright, while my fluted mushroom's cooking, this is a Portabello mushroom. What we just fluted was the Cremini. This is the more mature portion of that. I always want to peel the skin off of Portabello before cooking it. And I just peel it off by grabbing it from underneath and pulling it up. This is very, very meaty mushroom. When I say meaty, it has a meaty texture to it. It's traditionally dropped in a little balsamic vinegar and olive oil and then thrown on the grill. What's key is all these black pieces underneath, all this fins, those have to be removed. Those have to be removed. So I can take a melon baller and cut them out. And that's how I traditionally do it, but you could actually just do it with a knife. Just kind of scrape them out of it. And a lot of places don't do this, and that's where you get your bitter portobello mushrooms from. You take that out, and then it won't be bitter. And you marinate it, and then throw it on the grill. Flip that over again. See how that's starting to caramel on the bottom? And at this point, I will add the garlic and parsley paste.
Pretty.
And I would set it right on top. This is the fillet. Set it right on top of the fillet itself. Okay?
Is that a duck fillet? Duck fillet.
And it's a duck fillet. Absolutely. So this we're going to put in a little oil and a little red wine vinegar, and then we're just going to pan fry it, okay? And butter. All right? So we're going to go back, and then we got one more thing to do. We're going to do green beans.